My name is Divine Gamer Arma, and I am bringing you a Cardfight Vanguard deck profile. Um, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Honestly, it's been like a couple of years, and I've been wanting to start making more Vanguard content, whether it be deck profiles like this or streaming on Twitch, and honestly, whatever else I could think of. So it's just me kind of getting back into things, but I wanted to talk about my Extreme Battler Victor premium deck because I really love it. It's fun. Nova Grapplers have been my boys since the very beginning. I had gotten the Golden Mechanical Soldier trial deck as a birthday gift in like 2013, and I have been playing Cardfight ever since. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and just get into the deck profile. We're going to start off with the G zone here. So, first off, let's just turn this around. We've got your Tick to Play Premium, Harmonics Messiah. If you ain't got this, probably going to have a hard time playing Premium, especially because getting this Guardian Shield when you go second really helps out with defense. It gives one of your attack units plus 20k power until the end of that battle, so it's very nice. But moving on from that, let's see here. We've got the Meteor Kaiser Victens. This is the first stride that I usually go into, and these are from the let's see here. Yeah, these were from the History Collection or something like that had came out, and every single nation, clan, I gotta think about that. Every single clan got these updated first strides here. So, with this one, you've got the usual stride skill, and then you got in the act zone as act ability in the G zone. If your Vanguard is grade 3 Extreme Battler Victor, whether it be the V version or the original version, and you did not get an imaginary gift this fight, you choose one or more of your cards from hand with the sum of their grade 3 being grade 3 or greater, discard them, and then you stride this card under your Vanguard circle from face down. Then you turn a card with the same card name as this unit face up, and you get 2 imaginary gift excels. Moving on to the continuous ability, that being when this unit attack hits on Vanguard circle, the effects activated even if the attack did not hit. And then auto, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you choose one of your rear guards, stand it, and it gets plus 5k to the end of the turn. So, just going over the act ability here, the act abilities, act abilities are activated during the main phase. So, with the stride one here, it's activated during the stride step. But with act zone, the act ability, that's during the main phase. So when you discard cards from your hand to stride, you can't use units, you can't essentially use like the grade 1s that are Stride Father, or like the grade 0 critical triggers that are used for Stride Father. You have to use grade 3 or combinations of 2 and 1s in order to do the stride, because you're striding for the ability and not during the stride step. So that was something new that I learned, and it is what it is there. But I usually want to stride with this one first, especially because of these bad boys, getting these Excel markers. I go with Excel Type 2, because Type 2, with the additional circles, they give your unit plus 5k during your turn, but when it's placed, you draw a card. So being able to draw a card off of these is very important, especially for Nova Grapplers. Being able to have more cards in your hands is usually good, period, but especially as Nova Grapplers, because something that we always dealt with was just our hands were never really the best. But when I got to G era, it got more, I think it got more bearable in a sense, and then especially with these Excel markers here, it just really helps. And then moving on, let's see what else we got here. We've got these two. Universe Ace, Bustard. I love Bustard. I call Buster Busted for a reason. It's a real good reason. So, Auto Vanguard Circle, when your rear guard stands, you Soul Blast 1, you turn a card in your G zone face up, and this unit gets +1 drive until the end of the turn. And then its second skill being auto skill being at the end of the battle it attacked. This unit's drive is 5 or more. You discard 3 cards from hand, you stand it, and it gets drive -5 until the end of the turn. Now this really is busted straight up. Having a Vanguard attack with 5 drives at minimum can be pretty wild. And then on top of that, if you have enough supporting units and resources to go beyond 5, I've been able to get once or twice I was able to get like 7 drives off of Bustard, and it was great. And then when he restood, he had a drive check afterwards. It was awesome. And honestly, even be able to just get him to like 6 drive is just fine as well, because he'll restand and they'll have a singular drive check. That's totally fine too. It's pretty great. I will say, if Nova Grappler, if Victor ever got a Stride deck set in Standard, look, I love Victor, I do. That's my boy. But if he ever got a Stride deck set, the Crest, you'd have to immediately ban it. You'd have to immediately ban it for premium, because this dude can just flip up cards in G-Zone like it's nothing. Your front row is just going to be massive. It's going to be freaking crazy. So, like, I love him. I love Victor, I do, but, like, you'd have to do that. I don't know. Disagree with me, agree with me, I don't know. But I love him. So, this one I'm running at 2, because I just love that one so much. And it's probably my favorite stride one of my favorite strides out of all of these here. Next up, we've got, let's see. We've got Winning Champ Victor. This one's pretty cool, too. When your auto on Vanguard Circle, when your rear guard stands, you Soul Blast 1, you choose a face down card from your G zone and turn it face up. That unit and this unit get +5k each until end of turn. And then when it's at Generation Break 3, at the end of the battle, this unit attack, you draw a card, choose one of your opponent's rear guards with the lowest power, and retire it. So, a little bit of board removal, standing up, powering up units that stand, and turning cards up in your G zone is really good. Winning Champ Victor has been pretty awesome, and he's not the only one that does board removal either. This next one here, being Meteor Kaiser Tri-Brutes, he does the same thing, more or less. But his auto skill is when my rear guard stands, doing an effect of one of my cards. I may pay the cost to counterblast 1. If I do, that unit gets 2k until end of turn, and then I choose one of my opponent's rear guards with power less than or equal to that unit's power and retire it. So, a couple of G units being able to do a bit of board removal can be helpful. I've definitely especially gone against units like Angel Feather, and getting their board removed a bit kind of hinders them in a way. I think not too much, because they can get their stuff back to the damage zone one way or another, but I mean, board removals is just usually nice, so I ain't complaining. Let's see. Yes. Winning, let's see here. Favorite champ, Victor. Very, very nice. Love the bling. This one's really fun too, especially when you have a lot of units on board. Its skill is Generation Break 2, auto. What you do is that at the end of the battle that this unit attack, you may pay the cost and that's to counterblast 2 and choose a card from your hand and discard it. If you do, you choose up to the same number of your rear guards, that's the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone, and stand them. If you stood 3 or more cards, you choose 3 cards from your hand and you may discard them. If you discarded 3 cards, you countercharge 1. This unit stands, and it gets drive -2 until the end of the turn. Also, that is not once per turn. That is very much not once per turn. So you can keep doing this and doing this until your opponent is dead, or if they shut you down and get something like an over trigger or something. God, I hate over triggers, but whatever. Moving on. This mofo right here, Fang Dragon King Fist Dreiger. This is one of the Generation Break 8 G units that every clan had gotten. This is Auto Vanguard Circle GB8. When this unit attacks Vanguard, we may pay the cost to counterblast 1. If you do, you stand all of your rear guards until the end of the turn. They get auto rear guard once per turn red text. When this unit rests, stand this unit. And then this unit gets plus 5k until the end of that battle for each of my rear guards. So it's definitely best when you have a lot of units on board, or at least a good amount, and then every unit just restanding anyway. Is just, this thing is really, really busted. So being able to turn cards face up in the G zone with like Buster, Winning Champ Victor, that's really helpful. You're gonna, when it gets late enough, you're gonna want to get to use this guy. He can really help close games for sure. And then we're moving on to all these G Guardians here. So we've got Meteor Kaiser Dogen Titan. This G Guardian, what it does is that on Guardian Circle, if the number of your rear guards is less than your opponent's, this unit gets plus 10k shield. So 25k shield for guarding, that's pretty nice. And then act in the G zone. What you do is that you Soul Blast 1, and you turn this face up card face down. You choose a card on your circle or in your damage zone and turn it face up. So these deal with units that are locked, or you can just turn a card in your G zone face up if you need it. So counter charge without the counter charge, but this guy is really great. Next up we've got, what's that? Yep, there's 2 of them. So 2 of the Meteor Kaiser Stiff Need. Now this guy is pretty much the just like put your money where your mouth is sort of guarding, just to use up all your resources and, you know, to make it worth it. So when this unit is put on Guardian Circle, you counterblast 1 or more cards. This unit gets plus 5k shield until the end of the battle for each face down card in your damage zone. If you pay 2 or more for this cost, you draw a card. If you play 3 or more counterblasts, you draw a card. So being able to just use up your counterblast to draw a couple of cards is very great. Let me think. So yeah, at minimum that you'd have to do 3 of it to really get the most out of drawing, and then otherwise having a 5k shield for every face down card in your damage zone, it can help out with guarding big numbers a lot. But then you'll think, oh wait a minute, now you've got all those cards face down in your G zone, you know, how am I supposed to get them back face up? One thing being, not this guy, although let me talk about this one first then. So Meteor Kaiser Junior, this one here helps to get cards face up in your damage zone, but let's go over the skill. So when it's placed on Guardian Circle, if you do not have any face-up cards in your damage zone, you counter charge 2, and it gets plus 5k shield until the end of that battle. And then when it's placed on Guardian Circle, if you don't have any cards in your soul, you soul charge 2, and this unit gets plus 5k to the end of that battle. So this guy helps you to regain your resources, especially when you're just, you know, out for whatever reason, because it'd be like that sometimes, especially if you're trying to just get things done and you know beat down your opponent. It happens, and Unir is really great. I think I've only got 1 of him in here. Who knows? I might change up some of these numbers depending. I've been practicing more games, and Unir, I've got him at 1. It's cool. So I don't know. I might run more. We'll see how that goes. But I haven't really seen the need to do that. And then we've got Meteor Kaiser Gundreed here. GB1, you choose a face down Guardian from your G zone, turn it face up. When this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, what happens is that you may pay the cost, and then if you do, you choose one of your vanguards, and to the end of the turn, it gets at the end of the battle that this unit was attacked. If the attack did not hit, you countercharge one. So with this, you just get another countercharge if the unit that was attacked, didn't get hit straight up. Just a countercharge at the end of that. So that was pretty nice. Now this one, Dark Element Dismal. Let me put that up here, my bad. So, its skill is continuous on Guardian Circle. It gets resist, so it cannot be chosen by card effects of my opponent's cards. And then when this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, I choose one of my rear guards, and then until the end of that turn, that unit cannot be hit and cannot be chosen by the effects of my opponent's cards. So this just protects something. It just protects a rear guard straight up from being hit and then being chosen by card effects on top of that. Like, this one's really good. Dismal is such a great G Guardian. I really like it. Plus the design too is really cool. Got the little like mini cats or whatever around it. It's nice. I like it. But no, that's the G zone that I'm using right now. Very toolboxy. You have plenty of options for just doing things to beat down your opponent, manage your resources, and flip cards up in the G zone. It's pretty. I think I quite like it. And then let me put this over here. Moving on to the main deck. So, of course, we got the starter being Extreme Battle Rumble. When this unit is rolled upon, draw a card. Then if your opponent's Vanguard is great through a greater, you put a quick shield ticket into your hand. So this one right here, you just put the quick shield ticket in hand, and then on top of that, if you were going second, you would reveal Harmonics to get the Guardian Shield. So 25k shield in hand for guarding, very nice. Rumble, just pretty much your typical premium starter that you would use. Moving on to the grade 3s. So we have here Extreme Battler Victor and Zubat Battler Victor. Extreme Battler Victor, this is a guy that I usually want to stay on because with him you hit fast and you hit hard. Let's see here, Auto Vanguard Circle, GB2. When he attacks a Vanguard, this unit gets plus 5k until the end of the battle. And then you choose one of your rear guards, stand it, and it gets plus 5k to the end of the turn. So, not bad if you end up not striding for whatever reason. He can hold on his own. And then on top of that, Auto Vanguard Circle, the stride skill, when your G unit strides, you choose one of your Vanguards and it gets Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may counterblast one. And if you do, you choose one of your rear guards, stand it, gets plus 5k to the end of the turn. That is a once per turn. So, just straight up, this is the guy that you usually, this is the guy that I usually like to stay on. Like I said, hitting fast, hitting hard. You want to go ahead and get it done with the opponent and just power on through. The next one that I run is Zubat Battler Victor. Now, Zubat Battler Victor, I really like. He's really cool too. He was the last iteration of Victor in G series before it ended, and he's definitely one of my favorite versions of Victor. His skill being Auto Vanguard Circle. When your G unit strides, you may pay the cost, counterblast one, you draw a card, choose a card from hand, call to rear guard, and then you choose one of your units. Until the end of the turn, it gets Auto Vanguard Rear Guard once per turn. When it attacks, choose one of your other rear guards and stand it. So yeah, you just choose one of your units, Vanguard or rear guard. Lately, especially in premium, I've been giving that standing skill to the Vanguard itself. Back in G era, I would give it to a rear guard, and what I would do with that rear guard is that I would use it to stand up the other column on the other column on the other side of the Vanguard. I could probably try doing that in premium. Not necessarily another column, but maybe like 2 other units that are standing wherever, but usually at this point I give it to the Vanguard. But Zubat, he's more so for managing resources, especially because of his second ability, being at the end of your turn, if the number of face-up cards in your damage zone is 1 or less, countercharge 1. If the number of cards in your soul is 1 or less, soul charge 1. If you countercharged and soul charged, you draw a card. So this guy is good for, like I said, managing resources, and with that, you'll be able to draw a card on top of that, so that's really helpful. And then the last grade 3 that I run is the Regalis piece, Bracing Angel Ladder. This one's really good. With being Regalis piece, you can only have 1 in it in the deck, and then you just once in a fight you can use it. But you know, you draw a card, you put this card into the soul, and then until the end of your opponent's next turn, you get, during your turn, all of your vanguards get 5k power, and all of your rear guards cannot be chosen and cannot be put you know, other than on rear guard by your opponent's card effects. So just sort of like a resist, and you know, an extra card in soul is definitely helpful, especially with Victor, because this deck uses soul quite a bit. And then we're going to see some other units that use soul a lot. So moving on, we've got ourselves Spiral Breaker. We run 4 of that, and Spiral Breaker's skill is auto Vanguard rear circle once per turn. When this unit attacks while boosted, you Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your other rear guards and stand it. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you stand all of your rear guards in the same column as the chosen unit. And then auto end your hand at the beginning of your ride phase. If your Vanguard is grade 1 or less, you discard it. You check the top 5 for a grade 2 or less card from among them, reveal it, put it in the hand, and shuffle the deck. So with that first skill, being able to stand up a column is pretty great. And usually, depending on how I have things set up, I usually have it to where I've got him set up along with the booster behind him. Specifically, I want to search it out real quick just to show it off. This one here, Extreme Battler Gunston. I'll go over it later, but usually when I have it, these two are set up like this. But that's spoiler. We'll get to that in a bit. But Spiral Breaker, really great. Love him for standing things up. The next card in the grade 2s, I run 4 of Extreme Battler Sazanda, the V version. So his skill is, when placed on a Vanguard circle, you check the top 5 cards of your deck and choose a grade 2 or less, up to 1 grade 2 or less with Extreme Battler in his card name from among them. Call to rear guard and shuffle your deck. So very great for deck thinning, building your board, and when it's on a rear guard, its rear guard skill is when your other unit stands from a card's ability. If this unit is on an additional rear guard circle until the end of the turn, that unit and this unit both get 5k power. So this can just get some crazy big numbers just by watching something else stand. And then if multiple things stand at the same time, every single unit that stood, he gets 5k from each of them and for each of them, and then he gives 5k to each unit that stood up. Like, this guy really helps to power up the board a lot. And like I said earlier, with the, if there was a Stride deck set for Victor, that you'd have to ban the crest, because I can only imagine how these numbers would just get busted. It'd be insane. And then the last one, I haven't seen this one too much, but I like Extreme Battler Dosledge a lot. I run this one at 4. He's really great. His auto skill is on rearguard circle. When he stands by a card's ability, you perform the effects below according to the number of times that he stood up. So the first time he stands up, he gets 10k power. The second time he stands up, soul charge 1, so that's good for resource management, maintaining soul. And then if he stood up 3 times, until the end of the turn, this unit gets plus another 10k, and then your opponent cannot call sentinels from hand to guardian circle during the battle that this unit attacked. So that guard restrict can be pretty nice. People can, of course, get around it with using G Guardians or Elementaria, which right there. So they can get around it that way, but still, he's pretty great for getting big numbers and helping to maintain your soul, so that you can do more shenanigans. Next up, moving on to the grade 1s, we're gonna have ourselves Elementaria Sanctitude. This is just it's a given at this point. This one's of course in premium. This is the triple drive version of, so you can just plop this down in the order zone and just be done. So Elementaria for sure. I run a couple of Hanalies, especially going against other multi-attack decks. And then, yeah, this Hanali can fuck up Victor as well. I mean, you can't play around it, but if you're not careful, this thing will shut you down. But, continuous rearguard, all rearguards cannot attack the Vanguard during the 5th battle of that turn or more unless 1 counterblast is paid. And then act on rearguard, you remove this unit, and then your opponent, until the end of your opponent's next turn, you get, when it's the 5th battle of this turn or more, and your opponent's rearguard would attack a Vanguard, it cannot attack unless 1 counterblast is paid. So this just restricts attack. This is definitely one of the best cards in premium, like, ever. This really helps out a lot. And then from earlier, we have ourselves Extreme Battler Gunston. So I run 2 Gunston, but he's really freaking amazing. So act on rearguard circle once per turn. GB1, you rest him, you choose up to 5 of your rearguards, and then they get resist. And then the rush ability being auto rearguard once per turn. When this unit stands doing an effect of one of your cards, it gets plus 4k until the end of the turn for each face-up card in your G zone. So these numbers can get real big real fast, and especially with having like I mentioned earlier, where are you at? Here we go. By mentioning having a Spiral Breaker, it can stand up as a pretty big column and can hit some pretty big numbers too. So, and Gunston's also really good as a attacker as well. If you really need to use him as an attacker, you stand him up and then he can stack up power pretty well. So honestly, Gunston's pretty awesome. I've always liked him. Next up, I run 2 Extreme Battler Jiro Hawk. Jiro Hawk's ability is auto rearguard circle once GB1. What you do is that at the end of the battle that this unit boosted, you may... at the end of the battle that this unit boosted a rearguard, if you have a Vanguard with Victor in this card name, you may counterblast 1 and put it into your soul. If you do, you draw a card, you stand the boosted unit, and it gets plus 2k to the end of the turn. So this one's pretty great. You fill up your soul, get a card in hand, stand up the unit it boosted, give it a little bit of power. This can be pretty nice, especially for just getting more attacks in and drawing a card, filling up your soul a bit. It's pretty nice. And then next up, we've got 3 Extreme Battler. Let's see here. Ganbaru Gun. I think I said that right. I hope I did. This skill is on auto rearguard once per turn. When it attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Victor in his card name, you Soul Blast one. You choose one of your, you stand up one of your rear guards, and then this unit gets plus 5k until the end of the turn. So it can hit Vanguards, stand something up for a Soul Blast, and honestly, yeah, it's pretty great in that regard. You can call it as a booster if you feel like you need to, but usually you don't have to. It's just, putting on an additional rear guard, an additional like an Excel marker here. It'll be attacking for 18, so that's pretty cool too. But this one's pretty great attacker. And then the last of the great ones, I run 4 of the Stride Fodder Extreme Battler Aura Shid. I run the OG one. When I run the OG one for the reason being that you can just search out a Victor straight from the deck. So if you have like another Victor in hand that you may not want to use, or if you even have like the grade 3 heal, you just reveal that when this is placed on rear guard. You search your deck for a Victor that you're looking for, put it in the hand, shuffle the deck, and then you discard a card from your hand. Like, I just rather just go straight into the deck to get the Victor that I need instead of checking the top 5 with the V version of Aura Shid. Like, I like this one a lot more. It's just more direct. I ain't trying to play around. Like, let's just get the Victors that I need and just get right to it. So, and then for the triggers. So, Over Trigger, Elbow Breath. Need I say more? When it's revealed offensively, when it's checked offensively, you double the power and the crit of all your front row units until the end of the turn. Like, this is the best. This is the best Nation Over Trigger, straight up. This is the best one. I don't really know much else there's to say about it. Like, if you have a Brant Gate deck, you're running this. You're pretty much running this. Yeah, pretty much. And then, let me put you right here. Next up, we run 4 of the grade 3 heal triggers here. So when this, you just put on Guardian Circle from hand. If you did not ride a grade 3 or greater unit this fight, you get to perform one of these skills here. So you can choose one of your Vanguards and it gets plus 10k to the end of the turn. Or you can choose one of your opponent's units and it gets -2 crit until the end of that battle. And then auto, when displaced on rear guard from hand, if your damage zone has no cards, you can put the top card of your deck into your damage zone. So this is usually used for the those first 2 abilities up there to help slow down the game, especially if you're just dealing with like some sort of pressure. This helps to slow things down so that you can, hopefully be able to just, stay in the fight. So we run 4 of those. Run 3 of the Draw PGs. These are pretty cool. I like these. So just 3 of the Draw PGs there. Next up, we run 8 crits in total. 4 of them being Extreme Battler Break Pass. When your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Victor in this card name attacks, when it's on rear guard, you can put it into Soul, draw a card, choose one of your Vanguards and gets plus 5k to the end of battle. And then the other auto skill being when this card is revealed for a damage check, you draw a card. So, great crits, pseudo draw. These are pretty awesome. And then the last 4 crits being the Kitan Pecan, the Stride Fodder crits here. So, in case you really need to stride, but you don't have, the Stride Fodder or, hell, even the heal in hand, or another grade 3, or a combination of what grade 2s or 1s, this is really good for that. So, anyway, that is my Victor Premium deck. Like, I love Victor a lot. He is one of my boys, one of the favorites, and I really hope he gets a premium stride deck set. But if he does, you gotta ban that Crescent Premium because it'll get problematic real fast. It really will. Like, I love him. Like, I love him, I do. But no, we can't have that. So anyway, thanks to all who watched. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave a comment below, and hopefully you guys are enjoying your own card fights. So thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, and hope y'all have a good day. Talk later.